All right. All right, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yo, what's going on, Squirrel? How we doing? Hello to everybody popping in. Just getting everything set up. It's going to be a little bit more of a chill stream today. Just saw some cards in the binders I was going through that I want to kind of reorganize. Going to look at some cards I'm going to prep and get ready for grading. And then, yeah, going to show off some other stuff that sold yesterday, along with some other stuff that I have already set up and ready to grade. So should be pretty fun. Should be pretty chill. All right. I'm finally running low on these, by the way. For anyone in chat, let me know how audio is. If the music's too loud, let me know. kind of get the place to myself today, so thought I would turn it up a little bit. Sounds good, Nugget. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I'll give these away real quick too. So these are when I used to cut the code cards off during my regular videos because obviously there were bots that would just scan them all in. So you can give this a try. If you're watching this after, you can try and pause the video and try and write them down or manually type them in. All right, so do my quick little intro for everyone that's already here. You already saw the thumbnail, so you know what we're getting into. Let me check this Discord message real quick. All right. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, especially because I don't really have much to open right now. I don't really feel like going out to the store and trying to get stuff. Plus, with how busy yesterday was, I kind of just want to hang out. So, yeah. All right, let me do the intro. So, well, what's going on, everybody? WakoBako here, as you can see by the thumbnail today, and we're going to be going through. Wow, I actually butchered that one. Let me try this again. Excuse me. What's going on, everybody? WakoBako here. As you can see by the thumbnail, today we're going to be sorting through some of the binders. We're going to be prepping some stuff for grading and just showing off some stuff that sold yesterday after the stream. So let me start there. So 2 more orders came through yesterday, and obviously I'm not showing people's information. So sold off this absolutely beautiful Charizard EX. This is the Altar from Obsidian Flames. When I got these back, I got the 9 and the 9.5. Decided to keep the 9.5 for myself and sold the 9, so super excited about that. And yes, and this is the packaging I use for anyone that's ordered stuff or is planning on ordering stuff. It's in a nice bubble mailer. It's nice and protected. Second order here, we got 2 more Charizards. We got the EX from 151, and then we got the V-Star from Starbirth. So obviously it should be like this. This one's a little bit older, but 2 beautiful Charizards, both came in 10s. I'm super excited that I'm able to send these out. And trust me, there's still plenty more on the eBay storefront, along with other stuff, hopefully coming in this week or early next week. But yeah, I'll keep doing updates and stuff like that anytime I get more stuff sold. All right, so what I want to start with is, so I showed this stuff off yesterday, and yes, I'm wearing my sweatshirt. I kind of turned the AC down a little bit because it's ridiculously hot out. So I showed off all the Southern Island stuff yesterday, right? I have the full Japanese set sealed, original sealed, that's never been opened, never been messed with until today. And then I have the English set here. This is the binder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the English iteration. I'm going to go through because I do have 2 complete sets, as I showed you guys yesterday. For those that checked out the stream, I do have 2 complete sets. Can you guys see this already if I move it over that way? I know this is off the screen, but I'm not worried about that. But yeah, so 2 full complete sets, right? It's only 18 cards, so it's not like it's a humongous set or anything like that. But I want to go through these and look and see which ones are probably going to get me some better grades. They're not going to be perfect by any means. Maybe 1 or 2 will be, but I doubt it. But yeah, what I want to do is I'm going to go through these, look them over, and then figure out, even if I piecemeal them together, just so I still have 1 complete set when I'm done, and then figure out which ones are better to be graded. I'll get all them sleeved up. So what I usually use are these. These are from CGC. They have these little kits that you can buy or random supplies. But these are like the bigger bigger card sleeves that these go into. And then you have the Ultra Pros or the Vault X or even CGC's card savers, if you will, that go into it. So yeah, kind of be doing that. And then, like I said, in the vintage binders, I'm going to go through and pull some cards that need to be double sleeved or put some new sleeves on them. But yeah, I'll be chit-chatting, just hanging out. I'm going to show these off as well. These are 2 more submissions that I pretty much have prepped and ready to go to CGC. Just need to do the paperwork. But I'm not going to push these out until I get the more recent ones that I push out this week when I get those back. But I'll show those off a little bit later. But yeah, let's start with these. Let's take a look. So I know this first Mew, this is probably the one that's most likely going to stay in here. It's just not in great shape, if I remember correctly. I really kind of want to break out the flashlight, but I feel like it's going to be like too much glare for you guys on your end. But I can already see there's a bunch of whitening on these sides here. I mean, the centering looks great, at least on the back. I'm going to take this out just a little bit, just to try to look at some of the scratches or anything like that. Yeah, there's scratches like all over this here. And I mean, it's bound to happen. This card's very, very old. But I think the other Mew that I have is in a little bit better shape. And anyway, I'm using the Brilliant Stars sleeves because it has that nice gold backdrop on it. Let me look at the other one. You guys can still see that if I leave it there. All right. Let's take a look at this one. So this one, nope, this one's even worse. So I got to pick the better of the two, because as much as I'd like to buy a new one, they're so expensive, especially in great condition. So yeah, I'll probably just leave this one. The other one's not as bad, but it's not great either. Oh goodness, Squirtle! Yeah, that's frustrating for sure. Yeah, this one's, like I said, it's got whitening all over this side here. So I know it's not going to be a 9, obviously not going to be a 10, probably won't even be an 8. So it's one of those things where, like, is it worth getting this graded still just for the sake of having it with the set? Maybe. Let me actually look at something real quick while we're doing this. I kind of want to see what they're going for right now. So obviously I'm loading up TCG Player. Obviously it's a blank white screen right now. Come on. Let's take a look. So this is also why I got a new phone, because this one it's iPhone X, so it's a bit older now. But no, I don't want to do this now. Come on. Let's see, Southern Islands, Pokemon set, and then filter by high to low. So yeah, in good condition, you're looking at like 130. That's at least market right now what it's going for. Really don't feel like paying that much to get this graded. I don't know. And obviously, some of the other ones are pretty expensive. It's a steep drop off though. I mean, you're looking at Togepi being 43, Slow King. So when you see these price differences, right, I might as well explain this if you haven't used it. Where it says 40 listings from 32. 32 is like the bottom of the barrel, whatever the lowest listing, it's probably a damaged card at 32 bucks. So that's how you can kind of see the range, right? If you don't care about its condition, you just want the card, that price there is probably the cheapest you're going to get it. But just keep that in mind when you're looking at this kind of stuff. But yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll come back to the Mew. I may end up using this one, but let me keep moving on to the other ones. Even with some of these non-holos, it's tough, right? Because obviously you don't have to worry about holo or anything, but card condition still matters, right? So like this one, it's already pretty beat up there. Yeah, and the other thing I'm thinking about too is like, if I grade a set of this, if I'm grading it just for me, then I'm not super worried about condition, to be honest, because I'll just have a graded set and it'll be in my personal collection. But if I'm grading this to try and sell it, yeah, this one's not much better. I don't know. I really like the Southern Islands set. I just really don't want to have to re-buy all of it to try and get stuff in better condition. And that's also why I may just end up doing the Japanese set graded, because it's still 18 cards. I can fill it in with 7 other random cards and make that submission, or I could just do the next tier up so I don't have to worry about that minimum, and kind of go from there. if you're in my situation, what would you do? Would you try and just grade it for the sake of having it graded for your set? Yeah, a lot of these are, and again, some of these I've had for a really long time. So would you try and get it graded just for the sake of having your own set graded? Or you think it's worth trying to like rebuy some of these cards to get them graded in better condition and then try and sell off the set? Because that's the one good thing about both the Japanese sets that I have. And you saw yesterday if you were here, they're both like this. They're all factory sealed. So they've never been opened. Yeah, they probably could still have some kind of damage or be off-centered, but at least I know they're in way better shape potentially than what I have here. But I don't know. I'm just going to keep going through this and see if I have anything worth it. I see a lot of these, they're still just whitening. There's damage on them. Yeah, like I said, maybe I'll just kind of put this off for now, or I'll just say forget it. I'll just grade one whole set for me and not really care what it comes back as. Big old swirl right there, swirl right here. Yeah, but see, and then you flip over the back and there's that huge ding on the top. The bottom's kind of messed up as well. Yeah, I don't know. I may have to revisit this at some point, or I'll just, you know, just bite the bullet and just try to go through this and figure out, you know, is it worth grading even just for me, or just keeping in the binder in the state that it's in? Because I mean, obviously they're not going to get any worse now, right? They're double sleeved, they're in a nice binder, they sit in a plastic tub in an air-conditioned room, so the conditions aren't going to get any worse, but unfortunately they're not going to get any better either. We got 3 Ivysaurs actually, so let's see if any of these are worth it. Nope, see, even the top on that one, that's pretty messed up there. So funny that I have 3 of these, because if you flip over the next page, you see even that one's got a ding on the top. My next page is where I had other duplicates, so I'm just gonna put this here. I don't know. It's not looking great so far, especially and I'm not a grading expert by any means. I'm not a professional grader, but if you guys look on my channel and you look at all the CGC returns that I've done, all of those I've submitted myself. So I've gone through, done all the paperwork, looked over everything, whether it was my stuff or a customer order. And I'd say overall, out of the 20 plus submissions I've done, we've done fairly well, especially with some of the big hits we got in 10s, pristine 10s. Never got it perfect, unfortunately. But we've had some pretty good luck. But I don't know, like I said, I guess I just have to kind of convince myself, do I do it for the personal collection? Or do I try and get a set graded? Because I don't know, maybe it's just me. I haven't seen any listed anywhere, anyone trying to sell a full graded set of this. If they are, they're probably all 10s, and someone's probably graded, I don't know, 20 or 30 of each card to get the 10. Unless they're trying to do what I'm doing with the Japanese side. Well, you know, I'm gonna. Hey, what's going on, Wabbit? How are you? Just looking over my Southern Island stuff, figuring out if I want to grade or not. No, you're fine. No, there's no rush. And again, it's one of those things where if you can't catch the stream when I'm doing it live, obviously it's always going to be on the channel. It gets uploaded after, so you're good. I was just looking through my Southern Island stuff, figuring out if I want to grade any of the English stuff. For the time being, I may just put it off to the side. I really want to go through the Japanese side. You know, what I was asking was, do you think it's worth grading either one of these sets just for the sake of having a graded set for myself? Or do you think I should just leave them in the binder and just kind of let it be? All right, for the time being, I'm just going to move this out of the way. I guess I'll revisit it at some point. Hey, Alejandro. I grade through CGC. That's where I do all my submissions from. I've got their top tier account that you can have. Just a reminder if it's possible. Hold on. So, yeah, so I grade through CGC. I have their elite membership. So I save money on submissions. I save money on shipping too because I hand deliver and pick up every order. But I do middleman service to where if you want to get your stuff graded, send stuff to me. I evaluate it. I do all the paperwork. I do all the legwork. I hand deliver it and I pick up the order. So in theory, you're just paying my fees and then to ship it back to you. But yes, majority CGC. All right, let's see what Wabbit said. Show off some of the cards. So stuff for sale other than what's already on eBay. Sure. Yeah, I can go through that. So let me do the Southern Island stuff real quick. And then we'll go through. Oh, let me see. Because I do have. Which, yes, I did tape this to the front of a binder. But this is my duplicates binder. Yeah, we'll go through this in a little bit. Just some of the stuff in there is stuff either, I bring to shows and just try to trade off or sell off. But yeah, I'll gladly go through that. So let's do this first, though. So Southern Islands, again, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, this is a set that came out early 2000s, I want to say. No, even before, so this is 98. But yeah, it's 6 different sets. So you have the Sky set, Riverside, you have the Fields of Flowers, you have the Sea set, you have the Beach, and last but not least, the Jungle. What do I look for when I'm submitting cards? So that's a great question. So there's 4 criteria that you always have to look for and what every grading company goes off of, right? If they don't go off these grading criteria or these 4 pillars, I don't know what they're doing. So here it is right here. And I have this handwritten note. I literally have it stacked in front of me here. So centering, right? So for instance, let me just grab a random card real quick, just so I can go along and have a example or a template. So let me just grab, what do I want to look through today? A little bit of a preview of what we got here. So for instance, let's go through this, right? And I'll try and showcase all 4 of these pillars, if you will. So first one, so you're centering, right? Note, yeah. It's one of those things I could have typed it out, but I wrote it and then I put it up on my little backdrop here. So centering, right? So where the image is in correlation to the 4 borders, right? So sometimes you can look and see if it's shifted one way or the other. This front looks pretty good. It's pretty much center. But again, like there are some tools and stuff you can use to make sure it's exact. And then same thing on the back. Japanese cards is a little bit tougher to kind of look at the back. Let me grab an English one. Perfect. So I'll show you on this Raichu. Yeah, that's the rough part about some of the English stuff. Squirtle is like, especially during that era, the card quality just wasn't great. And really just because the Pokemon company's pushing out so much stuff, especially on the English side, that the quality control wasn't held to that same standard. So yeah, I graded mine. I don't know if you look back on one of my live streams, I live streamed a whole case of Lost Origin. Pulled the Giratina super early, ended up getting an 8.5, which again, it's pretty good grade, but yeah, it was pretty beat up at the same time. So centering, right? On the English, it's a little bit easier because you have these 4 dark borders to go off of. The centering on this one looks pretty solid, so it's not too bad. So next thing would be the edges, right? So when they talk about the edges, and I'll take this out of here again, it's not a card I'm going to grade or anything. But it's literally the edges of the card, not the corners themselves, but the actual edges of the card, right? So if there's any whitening on those edges, if there's any dings, if there's just any kind of wear and tear, scratches, that's what they're looking for there. Again, it's a little bit easier to see on the English, right? Because any kind of dark surface, if there's any kind of imperfection, you're going to see it's going to come up as white. Surfaces, so it's a little bit easier to do, or it's a little bit easier to manage on non-hollows versus hollows, or any kind of foil pattern or anything. If there's any kind of scratches on it, right? I showed off one of my Charizards that I got that has a scratch on the front. And it's one of those things that's what it goes into, right? If there's any scuffs, scrapes, any of that kind of stuff. And then the actual corners. So unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, which has those pointed corners, which makes it even tougher, obviously all these corners are rounded. So that's also where you're looking at to make sure it's not miscut. The corners are properly rounded as they're supposed to be, and if there's damage to those corners. But those are the 4 big criteria that everyone grades off of, and I say everyone is all the major grading companies. Again, if you find a company that's not using those criteria, I'd love to see how they grade it. Even AGS, which is the one that uses like all the computer tech and the AI stuff, they still go off that same formula because obviously it's worked for every other company before. It doesn't really make sense for anyone to kind of do their own thing, especially if they're kind of new to the scene. But yeah, so these 4 things here, that's what people are looking for, or what I look for as well in terms of grading criteria. All right, so Southern Islands. We're going to go through this. I do have a sealed set that's going to stay sealed, but I'm going to open this up. I do have my other sleeves and stuff ready, so let me just move these over here. So in theory, I will showcase the card. It will immediately go into one of these, and then it immediately goes into one of these. So there's no sake of, yeah, of course, absolutely. So there's no sake of anything getting messed up. I'm going to do this in the order that they're supposed to be in, right? So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16, 17, and lucky number 18 there. All right. I've never opened these before. I've had multiple sets throughout the years, but this is going to be fun to actually open this up. And for any of my sealed collectors, like I said, don't worry. I still have another sealed set, but doing it this way, ooh, and the package is already botched. That's what happens when you have something so old. But again, I have another set, so I know there's a little bit of cringe factor here, but it'll be all right. Yeah, this will probably give us the best chance to get some higher grades on these because, I mean, unless they're absolutely butchered from the factory, which vintage Japanese, especially if you get pack fresh stuff, was always in a little bit better shape. I'm kind of going to just rip the Band-Aid off this and just peel this off. I'll still keep this little backdrop and everything, but yeah, the packaging is obviously pretty thrashed already. So there we go. Got it open. Let's take a look and see how it looks. That's actually really cool how it fans up like that. So these cards are sitting in their own little sleeve like that. So we'll take that out. Here's the postcard. So I was talking about this the other day, which is also really awesome because I know people collect and grade postcards. I got to find some kind of sleeve for this, or I'll just leave it in the packaging. But so in theory, that's what this is. They took that image and then they broke it down into 3 cards. So you can see all these other Pokemon that are tied into it. There's Dragonite up top, which you barely see on the card here. Charizard's hanging out. But yeah, this is really, really nice. And then if you open this up here, I'm not going to fully bend it open. But you see it's got the image on there as well. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, these postcards, definitely going to keep all this together in here. And try and keep this in as good a shape as I can. So here are the cards. Kind of crazy taking these out of here. But yeah, like I said, I decided I'm going to try my luck and try and grade these. Let's see how these look though. So let's see. Card just comes right out of the top. And again, the one I'm more curious and cautious about are the reverse hollows, right? And it is a different pattern. Obviously, the English has the cosmic pattern, but these have the old backs on them. Centering on this looks great. The only thing I see with this, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, right on the very front of this one, and of course it'd be just my luck, there's a little white spot right on the bottom there. So probably going to take it away from being that 9 or 10, which is unfortunate, and it doesn't look like it's just something that was sitting on the top. But hey, I already opened this up. I'm not opening the other one, so we're sticking with what we got here. Yeah, I already opened one. I'm definitely not opening the other, so it's all right. Again, it's one of those things I don't have control over, but at least from here I can go from the packaging right to a sleeve, and there we go, just like that. So there's our first one, card number 3. We got the Onyx there. Let's get ready for the next one. So we have Pidgeot here. This one looks a little bit better. Centering looks really good on this. Let's get it in here, flip it around. And again, these cards are very, very clean. They're also crazy old, so I'm trying to be super careful with them. They're not to add any scratches, scrapes. Yeah, embrace the chaos. Yeah. Yeah, centering on this looks good. And with Japanese, especially the old vintage backs, what helps with centering is this red border. So you can kind of use that as your reference tool to see how all the other sides line up. So if you look at this one, it's a little bit thicker on this side than that side, but it's slight. Yeah, this card looks great, honestly. I'll break out the flashlight and all this stuff and look for any kind of surface scratches later. But for right now, that card's in really, really good shape. So don't say crazy old. I know. It's not. Yeah, I know. I said 98. I know. I know that myself and some of the other people in chat are 90s kids. So when I say late 90s, kind of 9.5. Yeah, potentially. And that's the thing too, right? Like, it would be cool to get this whole set back, even if every card is a 9 or higher. That would be huge, right? Especially with what I'm going to do here. And I'm obviously going to keep this. These are really neat. But even just looking at this Mew before I take it out, because I'm super nervous, it looks clean, but I'm already seeing some things that... Yeah, 94. Okay. My kid brother was born in 95. I was born earlier than that, so I'll let you do the rough math. But this one here, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna be super careful with this. But let me take this out, and maybe you guys, I get better looks once I take this card out of here. It's amazing. All right, so check this out. So it's a different pattern than the English version. Obviously, they did the cosmic pattern here, or on the English one. This is just your standard reverse pattern. Again, centering looks really, really good on this. It looks like there's a little bit of whitening on that top left. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yep, good old Charizard in the background. Yep, good eyes. You got the wing of Pidgeot over there as well. So the one thing I'm curious about, and again, I've never seen this card raw like this. Everyone I've seen in person has been graded. There's these little specks. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just look it over with my flashlight and all that stuff like that, and just kind of really get into these. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. Gotta be careful with putting these in here. Not trying to ruin my chances of having some good grades here on these cards that are potentially older than some of the people in this chat. So yeah, there's the Mew. So there's the first 3 successfully sleeved up. We only have 15 more to go. Man, this gonna be stressful for sure. But it's all right. We'll get through it. I'm gonna keep this. Again, I do like this whole packaging. I'm gonna keep this like this. Postcard fits perfectly in there, and there we go. There's the first set. All right. This is stressful because again, these cards are so old. And opening this old packaging, I knew it wasn't going to be flawless by any means, but here we go. Opening up the Riverside set. Try and carefully go through this. And it's so funny. It's kind of perfect timing to do this because they're doing the what is it, Pokemon Champions, or whatever the one of the yearly tournaments is in Hawaii currently. So when the English set of this came out for Southern Islands, you were actually able to go to certain places in Hawaii and get the whole binder and stuff like that. So say that again. So is it? Yes, these are all guaranteed cards. Yet each of these are for a set. So same thing in the English side. So when you bought the binder, so 1 second. So when you bought this, when this first came out, you got this binder in a big wrapper, and then when you opened it, all 18 cards were in a little plastic sleeve in here, and then you would just put them in the binder. So yes, it's guaranteed. It's not like opening up a pack or anything like that. What you see is what you get with this, so which makes it nice, especially because there's no guessing. All right, put that up here. All right, here we go. Old Riverside. So here are the cards. I'm going to take these out. Oh, there's no post. Wait, is there? Okay. I was going to say there's no postcard with this one. So here's the postcard. I'm going to look at this again. Again, it's just this postcard here broken down, which is awesome because it allows me to see more things that, and I've looked at these cards so many times. I truly have. I've had these for a long time. But you see more and more things, right? So you get to see the Pikachu, which you only really see half of here. The War Turtle back here, which I honestly didn't notice before. You don't really get to see the Goldeen, which is kind of neat. You get to see a little bit of the Slowpoke in this card here. I'm saying this as I'm hovering this over, sorry. Yeah, Slowpoke's a little more apparent in this one here. But like this Weedle, you don't even get to see it on this card. So these postcards are really, really nice. Obviously, I'm going to keep all this together. But again, it just shows how they pretty much came up with this first. And then they're like, all right, how are we going to frame all these cards and break all these down? So I really, really like that. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to start from the right side with the regular non-hollows. Get this Raticate out right into the sleeve. All right, let's take a look. And again, with non-hollows, it's a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about, any kind of, blemishes or anything on the hollow. This is what we're really looking for here is on the back. I'm going to kind of hover my hand behind it so I can look for any of that whitening. This card looks clean, and I mean, again, you would hope so. It's been sitting in this packaging since '98. I guess we just got unlucky with the Onyx. It must have been jacked up like that when they took it off the line. But this card looks extremely clean. I would love nothing more to get a pristine 10 out of any of these cards, right? Or even just regular Gem Mint 10s. Like, that would be absolutely insane to get 10s for any of these. I'm hoping for the best. But again, I can only work with what I have control over. So that's why I'm trying to get these in here safely and kind of taking my time and not rushing through this. But yeah, so there we go. Raticate is secured. I'm going to leave that over here for right now. Let's look at the Ivysaur. From here to a sleeve right away. So centering is off on this one just a little bit. And you can see it a little bit more. Let me try to straighten it out. So if you look at the image, right, it's shifted up this way because if you look at this corner here, it's a little bit thinner on this side and a little bit thicker over on this end. So definitely off center here, just ever slightly. But again, you have to look at these things because people at the grading companies, whether it's PSA or CGC or Beckett, that's what they're looking for, or they're scanning it and they're using the image technology to look at this stuff. But some of the stuff you can just see with your raw eyes. Now let's flip over the back. Again, super clean on the back. I don't really see any kind of issues. The centering is a little bit better on the back, surprisingly. So maybe that'll be our saving grace. Maybe if we don't get a 10 on this, maybe we'll at least get the 9.5. But yeah, so there's Ivysaur. Nice and clean there. Into another sleeve. But are you guys seeing what I'm talking about, though? Like, in terms of, like, the stuff I'm pointing out and the observations I'm making? And I know the camera is not the best, and I'm trying to, go over certain things, but does it make sense? Are you able to see kind of the things I'm pointing out, or am I just kind of rambling? All right. Togepi, another reverse holo. Super scared about getting this one out as well. Looks a little bit shifted off center, so kind of like the last one, but let's take a look. So some of these here, again, there's little white dots on this, and I'm not sure if it's like the pattern flaked off of the reverse, or Again, I've never seen these raw like this outside of just looking through the package. But centering, very similar to the last one, right? It's shifted up this way, so into that corner. It's thinner on this side than it is here. The back, again, looks clean. And that's something you would hope for, right? Especially in these cards that have been sitting in the plastic. But, all right, so there we go. And you kind of see Wartortle up top. You see half a Pikachu, so a beautiful card, but it's kind of neat to kind of look into it just a little more thorough. But that's the other thing I like about the membership tier I have with CGC. I package these the best way that I can, and then I hand deliver them. So I don't have to worry about, handing it off to the mailman or mail person, if you will, and then them just throwing this stuff around. I know it's safe and secure when it gets there. Hopefully they treat it as such when it gets to, CGC and their sorting process. But I can say through all my submissions, I've never really had issues like that where I don't want to call out other companies, right? Because I don't want people to think I'm slandering them. But I've seen literal before and afters of people being like, what I'm doing here, but like, hey, this is the card that I'm submitting and all this footage and all this stuff. And then they get it back and it's either not the same card, where you can tell with stuff like centering or major damage to the card. And they didn't get the same card back. So hopefully we don't have that issue here. I don't think it'll be an issue. Again, I'm not sponsored by any means, but I've had a lot of good luck with CGC and they haven't done me wrong yet. So I'm going to keep in good faith that they're going to keep doing their job and I can keep submitting more and more stuff. But not only for my personal collection, but it's people take trust and faith in me to get their stuff graded, and kind of trust my word and CGC's reputation. So, all right, next, getting into Fields of Flowers. So while I'm going through all this stuff, because I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was gonna place some orders, but I want to get feedback from the viewers. So we're getting close to that 800 subscribers milestone, right? Which I think as of this morning, we're only 3 off. So if 3 random people pop in and like what we're seeing, go ahead and hit that sub button. Well, for the celebration opening for that, what do you guys want to see me open? I usually try and do either something that's close to the price value or, like, for instance, I think when we did the 600, I did like 60 packs. Something close like that. I think one of the openings early when we did like 200 subs, I either did like 200 packs or I did like $200 worth in value. So something like that. Obviously, as the numbers get bigger and bigger, it's harder and harder to do those kind of things. But what are some ideas? What are some stuff you want to see that I haven't opened up? Stuff that's new or maybe a little bit older. I'll say this now, just to get out of the way. Please don't recommend, be like, oh, you should open up vintage base set, or you should open up, stuff like that. I mean, if you want me to, sure, but it'll be like 2 packs, for the whole celebration. Yeah, just throw out some ideas, just kind of brainstorm and figure out how we want to go about doing that sub celebration. But here we go. So here's the next one. Let's see what else we can pick from this image here. I'm going to try to figure out how I can have this on screen still. I'm going to put this here. Let's look at the postcard. So starting from left to right. So right off rip, Executor. You barely see him in the bottom right here. Nice. Thank you very much, Glee. I really appreciate that. There we go. So there's one of them. Yeah, these Southern Island cards are absolutely beautiful. It's stuff that I've had in my collection for a while, and it's nice to see them, behind the plastic. If you will. We're at $7.99. Nice. That's huge. Really, really appreciate that, and welcome. Hopefully you enjoy the content. So looking at the Ladybug, so some of the things you don't really see, right? So the Executor is kind of cut out. You don't see the Gloom at all. You don't see the Dodrio because it's kind of, well, you kind of see one of its heads right there. And then obviously you don't see the Weeping Bell until the next card. But I think that's kind of crazy for sure. So then moving over to Jigglypuff. So you see Weeping Bell, you see a little bit of the Dodrio. You barely, do you even see it? No, you don't even see the Venomoth, so that's kind of cool. And then moving over to Butterfree. So this one's even more kind of crazy, right? So if you look at the postcard, right? You see Diglett, you see Meowth. That's kind of all that you catch in this. Well, you see Venomoth there. So on the card, you get to see Venomoth. Let me bring this up a little bit. So you get to see Venomoth there, right? You barely see Meowth. See a little bit of Jigglypuff on the side, but you don't even see Diglett. Like, the Diglett is non-existent in the card, which is kind of crazy. That's why I like having these postcards, to kind of see how they cut the image down to fit them into the frames, if you will. Yeah, it's kind of neat. All right, so move this up here. All right. Now we look at the cards. Again, starting from right to left. Let's look at Butterfree. Again, for those of you that are just hopping in, this is the old Southern Island set. I looked through the English set, and unfortunately the cards that I have, I'm not overly impressed with their conditions. So I may or may not even grade them. If I do grade them, it's just going to be for the personal collection. But I decided to open up one of the 2 sealed Japanese sets that I had. So centering on this one, similar to what we saw before, it is shifted up this way just ever so slightly. But in terms of the front, it looks like it's lipped just a little bit down here on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, it's all right. And then on the back, again, the backs of these, all these have been really, really clean on the backs, which is nice. Yeah, looks pretty clean. Centering looks really good on this. So yeah, again, high hopes. And I don't want to make assumptions, right? I'm not a professional grader by any means, but at least through my hands, there's been, at this point, almost thousands of cards that have been graded. Either thousands or close to 1,000 cards that I've personally put hands on that have gone through and gotten graded. So again, I'm not an expert by any means. I can just give my own insight or my own take on how these cards look. All right, let's get to Jigglypuff next. And it's so funny because, you know, I'll mention this, and I'm not trying to bust anyone's chops, but you see people with like gloves and all that stuff. Sometimes that's even worse because you take any of the fibers, especially like from any of the cloth or cotton gloves, and you get it in these cards and you mess it up, or it scratches or scrapes it somehow. That's why I just never use gloves. I just use my own hands. So centering on this one looks a little bit better. It's slightly off-centered going this way, but it's ever so slight. Looks like potentially a similar issue like I saw on the other one, where it's lipped up just a little bit on this corner here. But let's flip over the back. I'm just impressed that all these backs have been absolutely beautiful. Again, I mean, it's been sitting in this for God knows how long. I don't really see any major issues with the backs of these, which is nice, right? That's kind of what you're hoping for. But yeah, again, from here to the Ultra Pro, Card Saver, whatever you want to call these. The one thing I would suggest, if you're looking at getting cards graded yourself, don't use top loaders, please, unless you have the little sleeves with little tabs on them. It's just, this is a lot easier. I know these are a little more malleable, but it's easier for them to get the cards out of these when they get to the grading site. So either get ones that have this little extra bit of a lip on it so they can just pull that out, or they have ones that's literally just a little tab in the middle there. Trust me, it's 2024. We have the technology. Please use it. People have gone out of their way to make livelihoods in designing and developing this kind of stuff. So if you pay a little bit of money on the front end to get more value on the tail end, hey, it makes sense to me. All right, next reverse holo, we're getting to the Ladybug. Again, always super cautious with these because of how these patterns are, and it is different than the English. All right, let's take a look. Let's see how this one. So centering on this one looks great. Just initial look. Ooh, so there we go. So there's a flaw here, and I'm curious if they're going to treat it as an error or I'm going to get a hit when they grade it. So right there to the left of that 10, you see the holo like that's missing right there. It's kind of obvious, right? Like even if I hold it from back here, you see that that piece is missing. So I'm curious if they're going to chalk it up as an error card, or I'm going to take the hit from the surface. I don't know. I mean, it'd be sick to have an error card Southern Islands, right? On this one here, there's a little bit of whitening, just very little here and on this bottom. But yeah, I'm more curious about how they're going to deal with that speck on the front. Again, I'd much rather, yeah, fingers crossed they just give me the error card, which would be sick. I've only gotten 2 or 3 error cards back that I've graded personally. Obviously, there's so many error cards out there, but a graded error card from Southern Islands would be really awesome. But so there we go, another 3 cards down. I'm going to keep all this together, and again, I'm going to keep all the packaging. Obviously, I'm not just going to be like, oh, throw this away after the stream. No, all this stuff is it's in great condition. I want to keep it that way. So here's what we got so far. Again, we're through like the first half of the Southern Islands set. I'm going to stand up real quick, take a quick stretch. Again, we have 3 more to go through, and then we get to the binders. It's a little more of a chill stream today. This is, if you want to consider this an opening, this is what I'm opening today. But yeah, we'll get to the binders after we get to this, but I'll be right back. Chat amongst yourselves, invite your friends, you know, hit that like button, consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Slow King by far best card in the set. It's one of my favorite artworks for sure, Wabbit. Absolutely one of my favorite artworks. Not only for Slow King, but out of the Southern Islands, and we're getting to that next. But that War Turtle's pretty sick too. I mean, come on now. All right, getting into the C set, which is kind of funny because, you know, me being in the Navy, you know, the sea is where I spend a lot of time, even though I've done deployments to the Middle East. But anyway, we're not going to peel back that onion just yet. All right, let's get into this one. Trying to be very careful with this. There we go. That one actually opened up a lot better than the other one so far. All right, here we go. Southern Islands C set. Open this up. Take the cards and the postcard out. So let's take a look and see what we don't see on the cards. So we'll do up close of the cards first. So this one here, the reverse is in the middle this time. But yeah, again, 3 absolutely beautiful cards. Let's take a look at the postcard. So right off the bat, obviously you have Dragonite and Tentacruel there, which you see in the card, which is nice. You know, something that you don't notice. So here, obviously, Meryl and Magikarp are just jumping out of the water. But in the card, I don't know why I always thought about this, but I always thought that like Meryl was jumping off of that little ledge or the ridge right there. Am I the only one that thought that? But now seeing the postcard, obviously they're jumping out of the water, which is cool. And then the final image, right? It's Dratini and Lapras. So there's really, this is one of the ones that everything kind of matches up. And it's spaced enough to where they can kind of just cut it and fit the image in the card. There's no real extra Pokemon hanging out. So I guess this is one of the simpler ones. And it's actually a longer postcard than the other one. It kind of fits the whole sleeve. I don't know if anyone else had noticed that with the other ones, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. All right, put this back up here. All right, so starting off with Lapras, which a good friend of mine named Joey over at /frag, which I talk about all the time. You guys should really check them out, especially if you like Let's Plays and stuff like getting out of bounds on certain games and breaking the maps and stuff like that. They've got all kinds of great content. I participate in a whole bunch of it and always looking forward to the next collab, if you will. But so long story short, Joey is a huge fan of Lapras. I've got a Lapras card graded for him before. I bought him some Japanese stuff. We're always on the lookout for Lapras stuff. So, you know, this would I wonder if he has his card in his collection. If not, maybe I'll be something I can get for him this year. But looking at this one, centering on this one looks pretty good. Again, it's shifted a little bit this way. If you look at how thick these borders are compared to this side, but it's ever so slight. I don't really see any dings. There's a little, of course, as soon as I say it, there's a little white speck right there on the bottom here. But again, with these non-hollows, it's a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about, you know, scratches in the hollow or anything like that. Looking at the back, again, this looks great. Any of the little the blemishes or anything, it's on the sleeve itself, at least from what I can see. Again, another great looking card. Again, I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but you know, it would be awesome to get this back with some huge grades. Because like when I did the other subsets, if you guys saw those submissions, oh nice. So first of all, have fun at Collecticon. If you can pick up some stuff for me, that'd be awesome. No, I'm kidding. So how does it work? So usually it is cheaper at those shows, especially because depending on the size of your submission, sometimes, so let's say it's a 2-day show, right? If it's only Saturday, Sunday, I feel like I'm yelling. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. If it's Saturday, Sunday, usually, depending on, you know, how busy they are, how much staff they have on hand, if you submit early Saturday, you'll get your stuff back on Sunday. Unless you're doing like some huge submission that you just want to drop off there. Yeah, usually it's a little bit cheaper. And then, like I said, it's a much faster turnaround because they want you to have it so they can make content at the show. Yeah. What are you trying to grade? What are you trying to drop off? I'm just being nosy now, but yeah, I hope you have fun. I was at the Collecticon in Charlotte. I would love to just bounce around to all of them, but not only is that expensive for travel and stay, but I'd probably be broke by the time I got home from that circuit. So, all right, let's take out this Meryl again. This is the reverse. Let's take a look and see how this one is. Centering is off on this one as well. See it right off the bat. It's a little more obvious on this one too with that blue. So potentially you'd have to verify that with them. I'm pretty sure they'll let you know before you even pay that, like, hey, we won't be able to get it to you in that day. Oh, nice. That would be huge. If you follow me on Instagram, send me over what you're going to submit just because I'm curious. I'd love to see what you're sending, and again, best of luck to whatever you're getting graded. But yeah, if they can't turn it around in that weekend, I'm pretty sure they'll figure that out as you're paying, right? They'll talk about shipping, they'll get all your info. But yeah, most of that will be figured out before you like walk away from the desk, if you will. So, but yeah, so I think if you look at the Collecticon website or even go to CGC's website, it should give you a lot more information on like how those in-person processes go. Because in theory, Squirtle, and I don't know if you've done this already, you can do all the paperwork now. You can go in and fill out the form and select a drop off at a show. It's going to ask you what show. You'll fill out all your information, upload all the cards, all that. So you can have the paperwork printed and ready to go. So when you get to the show, you're like, hey, here's my cards, here's the paperwork. They look over everything, and then it speeds up the process there. So, but yeah, definitely do your research ahead of time. If you have any questions, I'll try to help out where I can. But again, probably the easiest way would be reach out to me through Instagram. I do have a business email, but for some reason it's not showing up on my YouTube page. So I don't want to just openly be like, oh, hey, here's my personal and business email, and they get flooded with spam, you know what I mean? But I'll help out where I can. Just let me know. But yeah, so again, centering on this one, if you look, it's shifted over this way a good bit. Almost, man, if it's off-centered a little bit more, I might get the OC grade and get it as an error. Maybe I'll still get the error, who knows? But yeah, it's definitely shifted there, but I don't see any other blemishes like the other card had. The back, which is funny because like the back isn't as bad of centering, which is kind of cool. So the back looks great. There's a little bit of whitening on this bottom corner right here. But yeah, beautiful card overall. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, just pass along knowledge because I've been through this process plenty of times before. The only thing I haven't done was graded stuff in person. But like I said, all the information should be on the website. And if you can do all the paperwork now, might as well just get it knocked out. It'll take you 10, 15 minutes, if that. But there we go. There's the Meryl. So let's check out the old Tentacruel featuring Dragonite. Where is the Collecticon this weekend? Is it over in California? I want to say it is, but I honestly don't remember. All right, let's take a look at old Tentacruel. Centering on this one looks really, really good. It is off a little bit going this way. If you look again, thinner borders on this side. It's a little bit thicker on these sides, but absolutely beautiful card. Flip over the back. Again, the backs have all looked absolutely amazing on these, which that's what I'm excited about. And usually you can tell the blemishes or any deficiencies there. Oh, it's in Richmond. Ooh. Next weekend. Man. You know what, Squirrel? I may go. If I don't have other obligations, which I need to find out like today, I may go. I'll keep you guys in the loop for sure if I end up going. But man, next weekend, that'd be sick. I thought it was going back over to the West Coast. That's why I kind of just, you know, was lucky to go to Charlotte and kind of turn my brain off. But man, if it's next weekend, I don't know. We'll see. All right, come on. This is where I get stressed out, because I don't want to fight these cards, put them in these sleeves, of course. Because this is where, you know, people get stressed out and then they bend the card in half as they're putting it in the card saver. But there we go. And then I can just kind of wiggle this in here. So there we go. Another set down. 3 absolutely beautiful cards. Maybe we'll get the off center on that one. Let's see. All right, we got 2 left. We got the beach, and then we have the jungle. This one's gonna be a fun one. I'm curious to see the postcard on this one for sure. So, and again, if you haven't seen the backs of these, right, it advertises, and just to show how old this is. So from left to right, you have Japanese base set, you have Jungle, Fossil, and then Team Rocket. And then it shows off some of the other products here, like the old base set decks, which, and again, it shows the Charizard. You could get no rarity cards out of those little decks, by the way. Which, if you pull a no rarity Charizard out of there, well, enjoy your $100,000 or more, and you will be famous immediately. Yeah, those decks are obviously expensive just for the sake of that chase. I don't know, Squirrel. Now I keep reading that in chat. I'm going to try and see if my buddies in North Carolina want to make the drive up. Because if anything, I'll just fly to North Carolina. I'll hop in with them. We can go up to Richmond. I don't know. I'm getting too excited. Anyway, let's look at this here. Let's look at the postcard. Wow. So here's the original artwork, right? Or not the original, but here's how the cards end up turning up. And then here's the artwork. So there's so many executors in the background. Oh, how unfortunate is that? Look at the Poliwhirls here. We don't even see that on the card. You literally don't get to see Poliwhirl on the card. Man, that would have been so awesome. If they would have moved that down just a little bit and had Poliwhirl in there, that'd be huge. Especially because if you look at the next bit, so I'm gonna try and do it like this. So you see the Bellsprout, you see Slow King, and then you see Psyduck right there. My brain is going to mush. But yeah, that's such a missed opportunity not having Poliwhirl there. Okay. What's going on, Shrek? How we doing? Yeah, trust me, Squirtle. It's a lot of fun. The one bit of advice I'll give you, bring a backpack, right? So you're not carrying everything that you pick up. Don't get overwhelmed. And you're going to be overwhelmed the second you're standing in line waiting to get into the building. But once you get inside the actual convention center, yeah, this is all the Southern Island stuff, Shrek. This is all from 1998, if I remember correctly, at least the Japanese set. I'm going through and prepping all these to, I'm actually going to get these graded. So I've had 2 of these sealed collections, and I'm opening up 1 of them today. But yeah, so Squirtle, bring a backpack. Be smart and reserved. Like, don't just go to the first table and spend all your money. There's going to be a lot of vendors there. Don't get overwhelmed. Again, there's going to be so much going on. Everyone and their mother has a camera out and they're making content, which I think that's kind of the annoying part. If you ask me about Collecticon, is everyone's trying to make content. I literally went there and had a blast. I only did like recap stuff after the event was over. But of course, I mean, people make their money from social media, so be it, do your thing. But yeah, there's so much going on there. Just have fun. Hopefully you pick up some great stuff. Hopefully you can get your cards graded. But yeah, just don't get overwhelmed. Take a break if you need to. But yeah, just have fun. Like I said, if I can make it, obviously I'll let everybody know. But like I said, I had a great time at Charlotte. And it'd be nice if I can make it to Richmond as well. All right, so starting from right to left, like we have previously, let's get War Turtle out of here with Horsey. Absolutely beautiful cards here. Let's see how this one looks. So right off the bat, it looks like there's a little bit of a blemish or something on this bottom corner, potentially. Centering on this one looks really, really good. This is the first one where it's shifted down this way. A lot of the other ones have been shifted over in the corner. Exactly, and that's the smart way to do it. So, so the second day, at least in Charlotte, was a lot slower and wasn't as hectic. But also, there's plenty of people that were trying to make deals, especially because it's Sunday. People are trying to wrap up the show. They don't want to travel with all this inventory. So kind of scope out the stuff you're looking for. Try to build those relationships and that networking that first day. And then Sunday, just, best of luck to you. Just, try to close some deals, because that's what I did. Majority of the stuff I picked up was on Sunday. And it's so funny, like, I met so many people there because no one knows what I look like, except for the people I've met before, like Rocket City Collector, at Frag Stop. There's only a few people that know what I look like. Everyone just goes off of my voice. Yeah, it was fun. But like I said, Sunday is definitely your day to capitalize on trying to get some of the stuff you saw on Saturday, if it's not already gone by then. Yeah, there you go. Best of luck to you. I'm interested to see what you get. All right, so like I said, centering on this one, it shifted down a little bit, this one, but outside of that, it's not too bad. It's the first one that we've looked at that's actually shifted that way. Let's look at the back. Again, another super clean back. I buy all the things, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely tough to go an event like that and to budget yourself. I mean, I'll show you some of the, and I showed this off before, but I'll show you some of the random stuff I picked up. But you got to go in there with a budget, because I'd hate to come off deployment with all this money I saved and then go to one event and then I'm broke, you know what I mean? Which is very possible. There's plenty of stuff there that's $10,000 plus, $20,000 plus. And not even talking sealed packs, we're talking just cards itself. So something else I just saw, there's a little bit of a blemish at the top of this card. It's like the first one that has any kind of issue on the back, but yeah, hopefully we'll get lucky there. So yeah, once I put this in here, I'll show you one of the random pickups I had from there. Which, I mean, obviously it's still Pokemon related, but yeah, Sunday is definitely the better day to kind of do your shopping, right? Or to grab those little knickknacks for people. But for me, Saturday, I was so busy shopping for, like the business, if you will, and then shopping for people that couldn't make it to the show. Yeah, all right, so there we go. So War Turtle is in. So let me show you this real quick. And I showed these off before, but like this is some of the random stuff you can get. So I bought these water bottles just because they have the old Game Boy logo on it, the Nintendo logo, and it's the old like box art from the games. So I got all four of them, right? So I got the green version, red, blue, and yellow. But they all look so good. Like it was one of those things. It's one of the last things I bought. But yeah, absolutely sick. So you're gonna see stuff like that for sure. Bought some random T-shirts. Okay. PSA 10 Blasted from 151. Yeah, best of luck. Yeah, and then Cosmic Clip packs. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of vendors there with sealed packs and stuff like that, so that shouldn't be too hard to get. And then there's so many of those Blastoise out there in English and Japanese. So, yeah, wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you find what you're looking for. All right, so let's look at this one here. I know some people are excited to see this one. It's the Slow King. Don't really see anything initially, right? Don't really see the blemish like we saw on the Ladybug. I don't know. It's looking pretty good. The centering on this one is shifted, so again, we're back up to this corner again. You see it's a little bit thicker on these sides here, thinner on these. But in terms of the reverse holo, it looks pretty good. Let's flip over. And again, a nice clean back, a little bit of whitening right there on the bottom. Yeah, that's a pretty clean card right there. So, a little bit of whitening on the top. So, I don't know if you guys can see it, but still, beautiful card. One of my favorite Slow King artworks. Yeah, and it's definitely one of the better artworks from this set for sure. All right, let's see what else. So next is the Executor, or the multiple Executor. All right. All right. Last but definitely not least from this set here. What am I doing? Moving my hands all around like crazy. All right, so let's take a look. So centering on this one looks pretty good. It is shifted just ever so slightly this way, or actually kind of more this way. But yeah, it's not bad. Again, I don't really see any major issues on the front. Again, I'm going to go back through all of these after the stream, just because I'll be able to have a light. And of course, I jinx it. There's a nick right on the top. Yeah, and that's not just something that's sitting on there. That's definitely part of the card. That's unfortunate. But again, it's not much you can do about that. You know, if the card was dirty or had some stuff, yeah, you could try and clean it up. But with a chip like that, there's not much you can do. And you can feel it's obvious. But, hey, still a beautiful card. Obviously, I'm not going to complain. I'm just excited to see how these grade for sure. It's also why I'm trying to be careful with these as I'm sleeving them. I don't want to cause any further damage than what's already been on here. Come on. So I'll throw this out there, right, just for the sake of conversation. If you could grade any of your cards right now in your personal collection, and a card you have in a binder somewhere, what would you grade? It's so funny. I always ask that because obviously I grade all of my Blastoise, Raichus, and Dragonites, and I still have probably have 30 or no, I do. I have 50 Blastoise I'm grading. Probably have 25 to 30 Raichus, and probably the same amount of Dragonites I'm going to be grading. But I want to get all the business stuff graded first so I can put in the shop. And then as money comes in, just put it towards grading stuff for me. All right, so here we go. Last one in this awesome 6-piece set here. We have the Jungle, right? So Primeape, we have Vileplume, and Lickitung. All right, let's get it open. That one opened up nice and easy. All right, so like the previous, let's take this out. Let's look at the cards and the postcard, and let's see the difference here. So, wow. Absolutely beautiful. You see all the spores and stuff from Vileplume there? There's so many extra Pokemon I'm seeing right off the bat. So, can you guys see if I hold like this? Okay, cool. Kind of, not really. So, let's look at this first, right? There's the whole postcard, right? So, obviously, you see Bells, or, oh my goodness, that's not Bellsprout. It's Weeping Bell, thank you. You see Rattata, you see Venonat in the background, you see Oddish, another Paris down here. Man, there's just so many Pokemon on this that are not on the cards. So, okay, Zard from 151, Iono from PAL, nice. Okay, the Pika's from Lost Origin, yeah. Yeah, hey, it's still, 9s are great. A lot of people are like, oh, it's 10s or nothing. Like, there's people that have complete base set Shadowless in 9. And obviously there's still value there. So, like, I just wish more people would be okay with getting 9s. Even for myself. There's, I don't know, yeah. There's a lot of people that, like, get upset when they see a 9 or even a 9.5. Because, like, oh, it's so close to a 10. I appreciate still getting 9s, especially for some of the more expensive cards I have. I'll take a 9 all day long. It's better than an 8, it's better than a 7, it's better than 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. But that's just me. So anyway, looking at this first card here. So you see where they have the artwork there. So you completely miss out on Weeping Bell there. You get a little bit of Rattata there, but then you don't get the Oddish on this one. So let's slide over a little bit more. So here, kind of where this cuts off, you don't get to see the Venomoth. You don't really get to see anything. You miss the Venonat in the background. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where once you have it, it's protected, right? So that's the key thing, right? Even for me, right? Like some of the Blastoise and Raichus and Dragonets I have aren't 10s. They're 4s and 5s and 2s. But they're protected, so I'm fine with that. So let's do this. So looking at this again, so on the Vileplume, it's really just Vileplume. You miss out on some of the other stuff going on in the background, but then you get over here, and again, you kind of miss all this because they're in the air, but you miss the Paris, you miss the Caterpie over here. You don't even get to see the bottom or the top of Vileplume there, but still, it's always cool to see how the postcards look compared to what they framed for the artwork. All right, another reverse in this middle slot here. Let's take a look at Primeape first. One of my favorite artworks from Primeape. I like the Primeape from Team Rocket the best. There's a lot of good Primeape artwork out there. All right, so this one here, centering on this one looks great. If anything, it's slightly shifted that way, just ever so slightly. I see a slight white dot on this front corner. But outside of that, I don't see anything too crazy. Let's flip over. So, initial look. This one looks really clean. Centering, it's shifted down just a little bit there, but it's super slight, so I don't even think... I mean, obviously, I'm talking about people that are going to scan stuff in with the high-res camera and stuff. They may notice it, they may not, but that's a really clean back on that one, so very nice. I'll take it. All right. Go through this here. 2 more cards, and then, like I said, we'll go through the binders. And like I said, with the binders, it's a lot of the stuff you guys already saw yesterday if you caught yesterday's stream. If you didn't, well, you get to see it today. Or you could go back and watch yesterday's stream. But I'm really just kind of re-sleeving cards, kind of, you know, just reorganizing certain things. Come on. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts. Again, not trying to rush it, just take my time. Be patient. There we go. That's good enough. That'll work. All right, here we go. Last reverse. Good old Vileplume. Come on. Slightly off-centered, I can see right off the bat. It shifted this way, but it looks... it's kind of shifted like this, down that way a little bit. Seeing a little bit of these white dots here and there, but I don't really see too many major blemishes. Let's flip over, look at the back. I don't know, I think that looks pretty clean. Not really seeing anything that's like super alarming. And again, I don't have the best vision by any means. There is a slight white dot on the bottom there. I don't know if it's picking it up or not. But, yeah, super clean. See, some of these go in here so easy, and other ones just want to fight me every single time. So there we go. Last but not least, Old Lickitung. Another one of the creep Pokemon, if you will. You know, they had the Squirrel Squad. They need to do a creep group or gang, if you will, for Pokemon as well. There's some straight weirdos in the Pokemon world. And just, we're talking about the Pokemon, not even the people. All right, let's look this over. So, centering... This one looks really good with centering, honestly. It's one of the better centerings we've seen out of all the other cards. Don't really see anything with the edges. Surface looks good, at least on the front end, and the corners look nice and clean. Flipped over to the back, again, another super clean back. Centering on this one looks good. It's shifted a little bit this way, but I don't think it's anything too crazy. Yeah, so that is it. That is all 18 of these Japanese Southern Island cards. We will go through this again real quick. Oh yeah, absolutely. And same thing like Drifloom and the one Grimer, right? Grimer is definitely a creeper sometimes. All right, so that is it. All 18 Japanese Southern Island cards have been properly secured, sleeved, and ready to be graded. So, and that's usually my process, right? So if you send stuff to me to get graded and you want me to grade your stuff, that's kind of the experience there. I take my time, I look through everything, I'm very careful and delicate with everything, especially if it's not mine. I'm extra careful because I don't want to mess up your stuff and then you blame me for it. But yeah, so there we go. So 18 cards there. Nice and protected. We're going to just put these off to the side for right now. So before I move on to the next thing, I'm going to show off some of the other cards I've already prepped to get graded for these next batches. After that, we'll look at the my duplicate binder, if you will. So CGC, I think at the lowest tier, it's either $10 or $12 per card. Yes, I do have Missy's tiers. I have Grimer. I have the Sabrina with the middle finger. I have the card with the forbidden symbol on it. I have the Moo Moo Milk. I think I have all the banned cards. I have the rework for Gengar. Yeah. So yeah, so like I said, I think it's either $10 or $12 at the default level for bulk, and then it goes up from there, Wabbit. But yeah. All right, so let me show you some of this other stuff really quick. Again, this is how I kind of prep all these, right? Even when I hand carry them to CGC, they're in this box here. Obviously, I have them a little more organized than what I have here. I use these little dividers and all this stuff, but in theory, this is going to be one of my next submissions. So let's take a look. This is a 50-card submission, so there's all kinds of good stuff in here. And again, everything in this submission, I want to say about 99% sure that all this stuff is going onto the eBay store. So whatever you see here, if it grades well, you'll see it again. So but let's take a look. So let's start off with this side first. I don't really collect a lot of the Topps cards, but I had the Charizard. It looks pretty clean, so I was like, hey, might as well try and get it graded. Reshiram and Charizard GX Tag Team. This is the promo. Obviously, the Japanese one came from GX All-Stars. The Pikachu and Zekrom as well. Charmander, which it's one of the more expensive cards from 151. I have like 3 or 4 of these I'm sitting on. I just want to kind of test this one, see how it does. We're going to grade Psyduck, Poliwhirl, Zapdos, regular Erica's Invitation. There's that Blastoise EX that we were talking about earlier. I'm sitting on like 3 or 4 of these I'm going to try and get graded. There's the Alakazam EX. There's the Erica's Invitation Alt Art. We have the Giovanni Alt Art, Giovanni's Charisma. And then some Japanese 151. So this one here, we have Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. Actually pretty nice to see how these grade. Here's some Japanese Charmanders. We have some Charmeleons as well. And then we have Squirtles and a Wartortle. And then grading the Japanese Snorlax that comes with a set. The English Snorlax that comes with the Elite Trainer box. And then this Detective Pikachu promo that I've been sitting on for a little bit. So this is something I also want to point out. So I was talking about the tabs on these. So this one I'm talking about here. Some of these little sleeves you can get for the card savers have a tab on it. So you can just pull it straight out like that and then get right to grading. And it's also easier to put back in here. Yeah, something to look out for if you're trying to prep your own stuff for grading. But this is all stuff where, like I said, if you want to go through me, I have all this stuff on hand. I have a lot of supply for all this stuff. But there's the first 25 for this submission. Slide over. Next, going through some of the Legendary Birds promos. These all came from Crown Zenith, but they're all absolutely beautiful, especially the Moltres. Arceus, if you guys saw this one before, this is a duplicate for me. I bought 2 of these at Collecticon, didn't mean to. Same thing with Charizard. This Charizard looks super clean, so that should be nice. We got Snorlax and Pikachu. You guys saw I'm grading the Japanese versions of these as well. We have Professors Burnett, and again, full art trainers usually do well. The Pikachu Secret Rare from Crown Zenith, the only Secret Rare in that set. The Mew from the Galarian Gallery. And then this Mew is from Lost Origins, so obviously Mew is pretty popular. Gonna try my luck there. Friends in Sinnoh, I got 2 of. Gonna try my luck. Gardenia's Vigor. I really like this alt art here from Crown Zenith. And then some of these ones, right? So some trainer galleries mixed in here as well, Japanese and English, right? So Sylveon, we have the Sylveon V Max as well. We have the Umbreon V and the Umbreon V Max. Again, mixing in Japanese and English here. We have the Arcanine Crystal EX. We have the Cleffa in both English and Japanese. Such a beautiful card. It's nice and simple. They focus on the background, and Cleffa is just kind of meditating in the middle. We have the Larvitar. This one's pretty nice as well. Then we have Pidgey and Pidgeotto. Unfortunately, I don't have the Japanese Pidgeot. But again, all stuff that it's all going to go up on the eBay store. It's more inventory. It's a little more variety. I know they were joking the other day, but they're making a true statement. I have so many Charizards on the website or on the eBay storefront right now. But it's all stuff I've been wanting to get graded. So, plus, I mean, I'm not trying to kid anybody. Charizards sell. So it makes sense to get them up first, get that up and running, and then move on to some other stuff. So this one here, this is my Blastoise submission. So the other one was for the business. This one's going to be for me. I'm going to have to look at this again because I don't think it's a full 50 cards. I've mixed some stuff around. I pulled stuff out of here. But you can tell the amount of attention to detail on this. So here, this is a sticker, which has 2 of my favorite Pokemon on it. So I'm going to try my luck there. I got this one from Jason Nee, the old Sid's Blastoise. The one I got graded before was like a 2 or a 2.5. This one's near mint, so hopefully we get that 9.10. The Blastoises, you guys saw these. I got these from Collecticon. They're not super crazy, but this one has a really awesome print line. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but yeah, pretty neat there. So we do have some Venusaurs mixed in, right? Because there's the Blastoise and Venusaur. I had the Charizard in the other one. Venusaur EX and Blastoise EX from 151. Yeah, from 151. And then they're full arts as well. So I'm going to try my luck. I know Venusaur isn't the most popular, but it's one of the big 3. So there's definitely fans out there for sure. Actually, one of the other guys from /frag is a fan of Venusaur. So if you're watching this, Matt, there you go. There's some of the Venusaurs I have. Probably not. Maybe he's watching it later. Why did this stream stop? Why is it getting laggy? You guys good? Okay, there's a weird lag spike. Is the stream still good? We doing all right? Someone let me know in chat if the stream is good. Thank you. I feel like I just had a weird skip for a second there. But I don't know if it was just my old phone or if it was the actual stream. All right, so more Blastoise, of course, because why not? Okay, good now. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so again, grading more Blastoise. This is from the that huge collection box that they put out. It was lagging for a sec. Okay, gotcha. Just a spike. Japanese Blastoise, and then another alt art English. Again, some more full arts. These ones are pretty cool because these are Chinese exclusive. This is the Blastoise VMAX Hyper Rare or Rainbow Rare. Again, the Chinese market's still getting caught up on Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon stuff. But yeah, so I got 2 of those, and then 2 of the full arts, which this is one of my favorite full art Blastoise out there. So I've got 2 of those as well. 25th anniversary Blastoise in Japanese. Of course, this is one of my favorites. I love the pattern and the design on this. Got a couple of those going through. Which again, if I get multiple 10s, obviously I'll keep one, sell one. Japanese tag team here, we have Piplup and Blastoise. The Japanese hyper rare Blastoise, which I got this over from Keddy. This is part of the stuff that I got from his Blastoise collection. We got a Venusaur EX. This one's the, oh goodness, the XY promo. And then we have the Blastoise to go with it. Again, another super clean one. Hoping to get higher grades on these than the ones I submitted before. Crystal Guardians stamped Blastoise. Obviously, you got this from Keddy as well, along with the other Crystal Guardians. So this is the Delta Species one. So I love these stamps, especially on Blastoise cards. And then a Dark Venusaur. This is from the Best Of series, the 2003. So again, just mixing in some stuff that either I want for me or stuff that I think could draw attention, especially if it's graded. All right, this one's really awesome. So I've talked about it before, and I've shown you guys how much of a fan of Dark Blastoise I am. Well, you can't just grade one of them, so you gotta grade a whole bunch. Yes, I'm about to flood the market with Dark Blastoise, or maybe just my own collection. With that in mind, we also have the German Dark Blastoise, Old Dunkel's Turtok. I absolutely love the name. All the Dunkels, it's the dark form, right? And then I have it in the hollow as well. It's got the nice swirl up top. We also have the German Dark Dug Trio, which I picked up from a show. And you guys saw this recently, but it's the Dark Slowbro. So I had to get these. It'd be nice to get the whole German Team Rocket set. Now that I have these, I'm going to search for all the other ones. This here, Shadowless Blastoise. So this is kind of a meme, and I say that because, I mean, I don't own, well, I do own a Shadowless Blastoise, but this is my second one. And the reason why I picked this up and I'm grading it is literally for memes. So I'm going to take it all the way out. Front looks decent. I mean, obviously it's scratched up. It's not in great shape by any means. You may even see what I'm kind of alluding to here. But if you look at the back, it's got a pretty sweet cross crease right there in the very middle. So not only do I have a Shadowless Blastoise, I'm trying to get like the 1 or a 2. It'd be kind of cool to have a Shadowless Blastoise graded that low. But also I got this card for a steal, so it's not like I paid full price for it or anything. So don't worry, I'm a smart shopper. All right, Venusaur. So you guys saw this. I have it graded previously from the CD promo. This is from the VHS. This is the Bulbasaur deck. And then I have the one from the Squirtle deck, the Blastoise. And then another one. And then another one. Look at all these swirls, by the way. This is one of my favorite artworks for Blastoise outside of Dark Blastoise. And then I have some of the CD promos as well to grade. So these last two, these are the original Blastoise cards, if you will. I showed off the Cardass sets the other day. So these are the hollows for Blastoise, both red deck and green deck. Obviously you can hear my voice is going out. But yeah, both absolutely beautiful cards here. I know they're not in mint condition, but even if they grade somewhat well, I'll take it. But both absolutely beautiful cards there. Super excited to see how my Blastoise submission goes. All right. All right. See how much longer I can go here. Again, my voice is kind of giving out, which not really good, especially when you're streaming and you're trying to talk to people. But I will keep going as long as I can before it becomes inconvenient. Whatever I don't get done today, obviously we'll pick up on the next stream, so don't worry, there's always more. Let me take another quick break real quick here. But I will lay this on the table. This is what we're going to go through next. This is the binder that I normally bring to shows. It's got all my duplicates and stuff in it, so let me see something real quick. Excuse me. But yeah, so we'll be going through this. Yeah, this should be fun. Again, there's some good stuff in here. Nothing super crazy, but I'll be right back and take another quick break. But converse amongst yourselves, chit chat, get to know each other, drop some more subs, you know, do those kind of things. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Ooh, did we actually hit it? Did we actually get that 800th sub? Let me take a look. Nice, there we go. That's huge. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I know it's not a big milestone to most people because some people make that in a day or more. But it's the little things, right? You got to appreciate every little bit that you get. And I'm here because of you guys. So I appreciate it very much. Or I appreciate it and I thank you very much. Maybe one of these days I'll learn how to talk. But no, that's huge. Thank you very much. So now that we hit that, I'm going to show you at least one of the things that I'm going to open up. Obviously, I still want to get some more stuff in, but let me show you real quick. So I think this would be cool to open up, especially because I haven't seen anyone else do it, and it kind of makes sense for me being me. You ever seen a booster box with Blastoise on it? This is a Chinese set. I don't know the exact name, but it's one of the Rapid Strike sets. It's literally featured those Blastoise cards I showed you. So the Hyper Rare and the that full art. So it tells you the full breakdowns right there. So this is what I kind of like about their packaging. I wish they would do for English and Japanese. It tells you how many cards are in this, right? So 20 packs in here. It's 5 cards per pack. And then it tells you there's 48 commons, 42 uncommons. And look at this. There's 6 ultra rares, 17 hypers. Like, I think that's so awesome. So you know what you're getting yourself into. But, yeah, this is definitely part of something we're going to open up in that celebration video for sure. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, especially because I'm a huge Blastoise fan. And to have a Blastoise-focused set should be pretty fun. But stay tuned for that for sure. But yeah, I definitely want to get some other stuff as well. But that's just one of the things that we'll go through during that celebration opening. So again, thank you all very much. If you've been subscribed since the rip, or if you just subscribed today, I really do appreciate all the support. It truly does mean a lot. All right, so in this binder here, let's get back to it. You know, a little bit of a second wind here. So this binder I normally bring to shows. Bring to other card shops, over to friends' houses. This is kind of like my trade, random sell binder, any of the duplicates and stuff. So, primitive martial arts. Okay, gotcha. I know there's a sub. So it's a 2-part set because there's a Venusaur focus as well. Maybe I'll see if I can find that as well. But I want to get some other Japanese stuff to open up. I know that's Chinese. I want to get some Japanese as well, and some English stuff to open as well. But throw out some ideas, some suggestions, and I'll see what I can do. But anyway, so this binder goes kind of rarity and element type. Again, it's not the craziest. You're not going to see like crazy super rare stuff in here. But it's all duplicates that I had from sets that I didn't want to just obviously throw away or put into, you know, an ETB box or something. So I decided to kind of make this binder. And obviously I've updated over time. Yeah, a lot of V's, V Maxes, some of the V Stars. And then we get some of the full arts, right? Reshiram, that's always a nice one to see there. I thought I had 2 of them. And then here it transitions, right? So now we have some of the trainer gallery cards. All right, so you have Blue or Gary with Vaporeon and Jolteon. Then you get into some of the Galarian Gallery stuff from Crown Zenith. A lot of amazing artwork in here for cards that aren't really crazy expensive by any means. Getting into some of the full arts. Oh, I did have friends in his. All right, so I may grade one of these. I may take out the other friends in Sinnoh I have and swap in one of these. But we got Professor's Research. We got some shinies in here. Just a few. Nothing too crazy, but again, a lot of stuff's just duplicates. Got some amazing rares in here, which I really wish they would do, or do another pass of these amazing rares. Dare I say, I thought they were amazing. Then you got some of the Radiants, right? Venusaur, Heatran, of course, Blastoise. I gotta shuffle this background. I feel like I just took stuff out of here. But yeah, pretty much a lot of the Radiants that you can get here. There's the Serena. I'll probably move that one. And then some Japanese stuff. And some of the shinies from the Japanese sets. And then you have some more of the trainer gallery or the art rares here. I love this Zekrom, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful card. Just a lot of really cool looking cards. Some more Japanese. You get some hyper rares in here. You get some full arts. I like this Cleaver. This one's really nice. Yeah, and then some of the newer EXs, right? Because I do open up Japanese stuff here and there as well. But nothing too crazy here. It's pretty thin, you know, get some of the other art rares and then some of the secret rares as well. And then here, so I do keep some vintage stuff in here, but this is the stuff that it's not really in the best of shape. So that's why I keep it in here. Excuse me. It's stuff that, I mean, it could probably grade like 6, 7 range, maybe. But it's stuff that I wouldn't mind trading at a show to get something else, or, you know, yeah, good old Missy's Golduck, of course, absolutely beautiful. But again, it's not in great shape. You can see it's kind of worn. It's definitely, you know, got some wear and tear on it. But if someone wanted to trade and they just want it for the binder, I mean, that looks great for a binder. So that's all I'll say. These are all like binder quality cards. This for Alligator, which if you guys saw me talk about this recently, it's kind of unfortunate. It's got this huge crease on the bottom. Yeah, and again, Wab, it's one of those things where they're not perfect, but it's stuff I've either picked up along the way or traded to get, and it just wasn't in the best of condition. But again, if someone's interested in it and they like it for being in the binder, sure, I'll trade. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that's in this binder. Yeah. If you see anything you're interested in, if you want to trade for something, if you have stuff up for trade, reach out to me, let me know. If you just want to try and buy some of the stuff in this binder, I'll try and do some research and look up some of the rates, and we'll go from there. But yeah, again, I'm always trying to update this binder as I open more and more stuff. Plus, it's cool to walk around with the show with this. So. All right. Next. I'm going to go through this binder again, which you guys saw yesterday. It's the renamed vintage binder here. Good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, it's nothing crazy, but you know, again, it's options for people that, you know, are looking for, you know, maybe those cheaper cards, or maybe a V or a V Max they don't have. But yeah, so this binder here, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to remember to keep talking as I'm going through. But there's cards in this binder. This is obviously my shadowless part here. But there's cards in this binder that aren't sleeved. So I'm going to go through and re-sleeve them, or change the sleeve that's in here. Especially when it comes to the Japanese base set, because it's just sitting in some of these sleeves here, and they're not like the greatest sleeves. So I'm going to use, not sponsored, but I like using Dragon Shield. And these are the clear matte ones. So I'm going to go through, see if these perfect fits are still in good shape, and then just kind of put a secondary sleeve on it. Yeah. So yeah, this would pretty much be the rest of the stream. Obviously, you're more than welcome to hang out and chit chat. Obviously, this isn't going to be a quick process by any means. So I'm going to be here for a minute doing this. But yeah, again, thank you for all those that came through and subscribed. Again, another awesome milestone. I truly appreciate it. I got to get some more stuff in, and we'll do a celebration video. Yeah, if you want to send in some stuff, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Let me know. We'll make a whole thing of it, right? But yeah, so this is pretty much how the stream is going to ride out. Again, I'm just going to go through and sleeve all this stuff up. I'll probably run out of sleeves by the time I get to where I want to go. But yeah, just more than welcome to chit chat, ask questions, even do a little like Q&A kind of stuff. Just, you know, just go through the rest of the stream. I'm super excited we hit that 800 though. That's huge. I really do appreciate all the support. Again, especially for not getting paid to do this. I just do this on my own will, and I like collecting in the hobby itself. And then I also like struggling with sleeves. I'll take a look. Let me actually, well, before I get too deep into this, I'll take a look for you. All right, so let's look at this one first. So pretty decent centering on this one. It's kind of hard to see because it's all the silver background stuff. It shifted just ever so slightly that way, but I don't know if it's enough to push it off. The back of this one, I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than that. This first one looks really good. Yeah, that's not bad. I would say the only thing that I see is just the centering on the front. But again, it's ever so slight. Definitely 9 territory. It could probably hit 9.5 depending on the grading company, but it would be pretty sick to see a 10 in that one though. So I'd say that one's definitely a good contender for a 9, if not the 10. Let's look at this one here. So this one, same thing with the centering. It shifted more this way. I don't really see any blemishes or anything on the front. The back, I mean, honestly, that looks pretty clean as well. If anything, the centering on this one is shifted down just a little bit this way. You can see how the top is a little bit thicker than the bottom. Would definitely see this being in that 9 territory as well. If it pulls a 10, that'd be sick. But most likely probably the 9 or 9.5, right? If you're doing CGC. And this one here. So a little bit better centering on the front of this one. Yeah, this one looks pretty even all around. This one's extremely clean. Centering on this one, again, shifted down just a little bit this way. But I think the front looks a little bit better than the last one, so. And you said the Dene in English and Japanese? Okay. So this one? Well, good thing I've got a bunch of them, so. All right, let's take a look. So centering on this one looks really good. If anything, it's slightly shifted this way, just ever so slightly, but I don't think it's major by any means. There's a little white dot on this corner here. And a little bit of whitening on this top area here, the top left corner. So I'm gonna move this over here just so I don't get them mixed up. All right, so this one here, centering shifted from the top down. I guess I'm trying to look at the other camera to see like how close I'm actually getting. But Yeah, outside that centering, like I said, shifted down a little bit. And then the back, a little bit of whitening on this bottom lip right here. Like right in this area here. And then same thing, kind of white dots and edge wear on that corner. White dot over here. So, I mean, out of the two, I'd say probably this one's in a little bit better shape. Let me move this one over here. All right, let's look at the Japanese one. Centering on this one, it's pretty good. If anything, it's slightly shifted down. Let me see, like this way, down towards the bottom of the card. So from top to bottom. Backs are a little bit tougher to figure out centering, but the edges, maybe a slight bit of whitening in this corner up here. But yeah, I mean, that looks pretty clean. What do you think? Is there anything else you wanted to look at? I think so. I definitely think these can get 9s. And then the full art trainers, obviously, you know, kind of told you how I feel about those. Definitely in the 9 or 10 territory for sure. Oh, I know, right? Yeah, definitely need some more Arcanine. Yeah, Wabbit, would you be adding it for personal collection, or you try and get them graded so you can resell them? Yeah, I think there's... Oh, now that you brought that up, Nugget, let me look at this real quick. I felt like I had one of the Arcanines in here. Yeah, so there's this one. There's this Arcanine. Oh, both? Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if you want, I'll put him to the side for you, and we can talk about, you know, trying to work something out for you, or, you know, we can do that a little bit later. Out of these here, which ones would you be interested in out of the 3? Definitely. I still always look back at that one clip from the show that showed all 3 of the original legendary birds, and then it had Arcanine on there as well. Okay, Wabbit, which out of these 3 would you be interested in? Just say 1, 2, or 3. Makes it easier for me to do it that way. So I think this one has a really good shot. It's fairly clean. It's got the better centering on the front. No, I mean, if anything, I would just... If you wanted them graded, so number 1, we'd work on initial purchase price, and then I'd go over the whole grading process with you. And then, like I said, I mean, I could just bundle them in with one of my next submissions, obviously making note that these are for you. When they come in and they're graded, then I can just mail them out to you. But yeah, I think I have the 3. I think this one has a really good shot. Whichever one you don't want, especially for the friends in Hisui, I'm going to grade it for myself because I already have the friends in Sinnoh lined up. So it wouldn't hurt to lump that in there as well. But I would say this one probably has the best shot at 9.5 or a 10. Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where if you want to see more of this stuff, you know, I can always send you pictures or any of that stuff. Just reach out to me and let me know. But yeah, for right now, I'll put these to the side. Let me see. I think I have a little sleeve I can put these in. So yeah, so for right now, I'm just going to take these out of here. Put them in this here. And there you go. So these will be off to the side. Like I said, look back through the stream. Let me know. I'm just going to put these up over here for right now. All right. Anyone else want to see anything in here before I go back to the other binder? The Toxicity, yeah, that one's pretty sick too. I have it in English and Japanese. So there's the English one. There's the Japanese one. Anything else? The Mill Tank is kind of cool too. There's so many great cards in here. A lot of good artwork. I like the Electivire and the Magmortar, how they're kind of hanging out in two different locations and different focus points. The Melodic is really nice as well, or Melotic. All right, if there's nothing else for right now, I'm just going to put this back to the side. And then, like I said, I can always grab it back here in a second. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, fighting. What was her name? What was that trainer's name? Oh, Whitney. Whitney's Mill Tank. Yeah, yeah. Definitely scarred everyone who played OG, Silver, and Gold. All right, so let me get back to this. So sleeve that one. Yep, Whitney. Yep. Harder than the Mill Tank of Whitney. So this is Japanese base set. I went back when I went through this binder the other day. I saw that most of the cards were just single sleeve. So yeah, and this is the binder that has my Shadowless set in it. No, you're fine. No worries. So yeah, all this stuff is already sleeved and good to go. Now I just want to go through and do it for the Japanese side. All the holos should already be double sleeved. But the other reason I'm doing it too is because then I don't have to worry about these cards moving around. See, like, and stuff like this too, where like there's a second one in here for whatever reason. So sleeve one, put this out of the way, put that back, and then just grab a sleeve for one of these. And then just right back in the middle. I'm going to change the music real quick. Hold on. You guys can look at the old Charizard for a second. All right. Oh yeah, Ponyta was great. Absolutely. No, you're good. You're good. I'm right there with you. So, you guys can still hear me all right? Music's not too loud. really like to complete this set along with the jungle and the fossil set as well. Once once my payout comes in from eBay, I'll probably search around. So one of the cool things eBay does now, for those of you that aren't familiar, so you can either get paid out every week or every set amount of time, or you can just leave that money on your eBay account, which is kind of dangerous, but yeah, you can leave it on your eBay account, and then, man, this Squirtle is beat up, all kinds of beat up. Look at this thing. This thing is thrashed. But yeah, you can leave it on your eBay account, and then instead of, when you go to make a purchase, use your card, it just takes money out of your eBay money, if you will. So, I don't know. We'll see if I can find some of these cards I'm missing, and maybe I'll just do it that way. We definitely had a pretty strong first couple days, though, and I'm super excited about it. I just hope it keeps up, and I know as more cards come in this week and going into next week, and you gotta think I had maybe 50 cards up on the store. I'm gonna have well over 100, close to 200 cards. I mean, depending on how stuff keeps selling this week, but yeah, again, it's just keeping the whole store stocked, if you will, and then just it'd be cool to get to a point where some of this would pay for at least one of the bills that I have. Not saying I have a lot of crazy expensive bills, but I did have to get a new car recently. So, of course, it's one of the toughest things. Look at how beat up this Poliwhirl is. Yeah, bills never stop, you know what I mean? And you always got to pay taxes, right? So, two things you can't really avoid. But doing stuff like this, especially, doing YouTube as a hobby, but keeping the eBay store running, it definitely helps with that kind of stuff. So, but that's also why I try to have diversity in what I have on the shop, to where there's $20 cards and then there's $200 cards, and having some range where, yeah, I would love to just sell all the crazy high-end stuff, but it's going to cost me up front to get all that stuff, and then to, either get it graded or to get it regraded or just put it up on the shop and hopefully it sells for more. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad to be back doing, not only making content, but having the eBay store running. It's always kind of funny, but it's always enjoyable as well, because anytime you sell something on eBay, the notification comes through, and it's literally the good old drowsy. Yep. It's the cash sound, like the cha-ching, every time something sells like that on eBay. So it's always nice, just kind of hanging out. My phone was blowing up the other day, so hopefully that continues. I like this Abra artwork. It was definitely one of my favorite Abras. The old Microsoft 3D Ghastly here. So many awesome Drowsy artworks out there too, especially in some of the more modern sets. They did one of the art rares of Drowsy, which turned out really, really sick. And then, of course, let's see. Oh, yeah, Hypno's not in this set. It's in the other set. Love this Haunter. I actually like this Haunter better than the one in Fossil. I mean, the one in Fossil is cool, but I don't know, I just like the artwork on this one a little bit better. Well, Jinx definitely had a lot of controversial cards early on. I'm not really going to explain it to you. I'm pretty sure you can piece it together yourselves. But, yeah, it's interesting to see how they made changes to Jinx as well. Sandshrew, yeah, great artwork for Sandshrew as well. I love how the Japanese name for it is literally just sand. It's amazing. There's like, hey, so how does this translate to? Well, sand. All right, well, we have to definitely spice that up for the English. What card is missing here? I'm gonna pull up the set list real quick. Hold on. Oh, that's what I'm missing. So there's an Onyx that goes here. You know, it's so funny seeing the Doug Trio in this set, which was cool artwork, but then when Evolutions came out, and if you weren't getting holos, you just pulled a million Doug Trios, like, yeah. It's definitely stressful for sure. Good old Machamp. But this is the thing, too. Some of the simplicity of this artwork just made it iconic, too. Like, they didn't need anything else, right? They literally just dropped Pidgey on, like, the Windows, 95, 98 background and just left it, so. Now you look at some of the artwork and you kind of question if they're overdoing it. Which, again, I mean, I like them being innovative and the illustrators kind of having the free will to just go nuts with some of this artwork, but sometimes the simplicity works as well. Every time I see this card, I think about the Pokemon episode where they did the race, where Ash is literally sitting on the back of Ponyta and then it evolves to Rapidash, and somehow he doesn't catch on fire. Yeah, good times. Right? Wasn't that hilarious? I also liked how they used all kinds of different Pokemon for that race. Like, even Pokemon that didn't technically have legs. Like, wasn't Brock on Onyx, I think? Anyone else hanging out in chat got any questions, curious about anything? Do you have a favorite between... Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, Galarian Rapidash is pretty neat, especially because they went, like, very different in its art style. I'd still probably pick Kanto, though. I do like the direction they went, but I guess the other one that's in that conversation, too, is when they did... when they redid Meowth, right, and they did Berserker for the Galarian version. I thought that was amazing. I mean, instead of having Persian, which, I mean, Persian's iconic and all, but, like, having Berserker, like, it's literally Meowth with a beard, and he's enraged. Like, I thought that was such an awesome variant, especially compared to the Alolan Meowth. I thought that one was terrible. I thought that was a huge miss when they did some of the Alolan variants. But again, I mean, there's some people that like them, like the Alolan Vulpix. That one wasn't too bad, but again, it was hit and miss. Yeah, the Viking beard. Yeah, absolutely. But and then the name too was just so fitting. Berserker, like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty awesome. Good old crease on that one right there. It's all good. Yeah, and all the stuff that's in this binder isn't going to go anywhere. I'm never going to sell this. It's all for me. So overall conditions of the cards, I'm not super worried about, especially these trainers. I can always get other trainers. Some of the more expensive cards are the ones I'm trying to avoid replacing. All right, almost done with this here. But yeah, so before the next stream, we'll probably do the next stream, you know, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday of next week. I would like to do the 800 sub celebration video sometime next weekend, if I end up not going to the Collecticon in Virginia. So yeah, so that went out. So obviously that went out last week. I should be getting that back either this week or early the following week. So that should be nice as well. But yeah, so in the meantime, right, just let me know what other stuff you want to see opened up on that 800 sub celebration opening. I'll try and get stuff in. There's definitely some local card shops here I want to check out and see what I can pick up there, especially in terms of like sealed product. As I lost that sleeve, I'll get it later. But yeah, I may just order stuff off of like Amazon. Nah, not Amazon, sorry, probably eBay. What, this? No, that's Lass. It's not Misty. It kind of looks like one of her sisters, but no, that's Lass. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm just going to try and keep going. I'm going to try and finish out this binder. If my back starts hurting too much just from sitting the way that I have to sit, then I'll cut the stream eventually, but let's see how much I can get through, and I'm not going to try and speed run this. But it's also something I could always do later. I just wanted to get all these double sleeved. And I know someone out there is probably like, oh, why are you double sleeving cards that are less than $1? First of all, it's my binder. But second of all, it's just one of those things where I just want to keep them protected. Plus, these secondary sleeves do a really nice job in like centering the card in that pocket, if you will. Don't hurt yourself. No, I'm good. I'm good. That's why I keep taking breaks and stuff like that. Yeah, and that's the thing too, Rabbit. Like, I enjoy just kind of chit-chatting, right? And I think you and some others, you know, gave me that advice early on where it's like, look, I don't have to be opening up crazy stuff every single time or trying to, like, push the boundary of, oh, let me do a more and more expensive opening. Like, people enjoy this. I'll do this. Like, this is stuff I was going to do off camera anyway. But I get to chit-chat with people instead of just droning out to endless podcast after podcast, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. But, you know, people are here to hang out and they want to just chit-chat and look over my collection. That's why I kind of like doing streams. Plus, that's one of those things where, you know, if I ever get partnered by YouTube, which probably won't ever happen, just being realistic, but the hardest obstacle to cross is the watch hours. So I'll get all the subs that I need eventually. That's easy. Views through YouTube Shorts. Yeah, the Scyther. Where is it? Yep, absolutely amazing. I love how, you know, some of the parameters are like, oh yeah, well, you can get, if you get 3 million YouTube short views in 90 days, that's one of the ways you can get partnered. I'm like, well, that's never going to happen. So even my most viewed YouTube short is only at like 6,000 views or 6,500 views or something like that. Yeah. And it's awesome because that's my Raichu submission that I was doing. I guess everyone loves my Raichu cards, just like I do. Yeah, see, there's another great Rapid Ash there. Yeah, so it's either that or you have to get a certain amount of subscribers, which again, I think that's the easy part. But the watch hours, you have to get a couple thousand watch hours within a 12-month period. The other issue with that is, let's say you're at, you know, let's say the threshold's 4,000. And then you're only at 3,900. Well, month 13, it starts dropping off. So you lose some of that time, which is obviously terrible. But yeah, I love this Primate too. This is another one of my favorite artworks. But yeah, watch hours is tough. That's why I kind of transitioned to doing these live streams. because you get a lot of the watch hours there. It counts for every person involved. I mean, there's a lot more metrics that tie into it versus me doing a 10 or 15-minute video 3 or 4 times, even 5 times a week, and not really getting that kind of retention or those numbers. But, and again, I'm not doing this for a job. I'm not going to make a career out of this, as fun as that would be. It's a hobby, and I'm just trying to enjoy it with the community. But it would be cool to reach that milestone and get your own little plaque and be like, oh, cool, you like get the YouTube play button. Like, that'd be insane. Iconic Jigglypuff here with all the music notes around it. Good old Meowth before he went to the Galarian region and became a psycho. It's always nice going back through these. I know I talked about it yesterday, but not only putting hands on this stuff, but looking at some of this artwork that, you know, really got this hobby started a long time ago, right? I won't put dates next to it because, you know, yeah, same. It's great. Especially you look at some of the modern stuff. And again, I appreciate every bit of it, right? Now there's some sets I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, to each their own, right? Yeah, it's always cool going back through this stuff, and especially vintage Japanese. I mean, outside of the cards, or Cardos, however you want to pronounce it, this is really what kicked it off for the Pokemon Company and Wizards of the Coast. So, all right, last little bit here, and then we're going to wrap up the stream for today. Again, really appreciate everyone that came through. If you dropped a sub today, let me know in chat. I truly appreciate you coming by and supporting the channel. Again, the next stream's probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so this upcoming weekend. I'll see what I can do to get some stuff in to do the 800 subscriber celebration opening. If I can't get in by this weekend, obviously I'll let you guys know, and then we'll just do it the following weekend. We kind of just want to get stuff in and make it a really fun, enjoyable experience for everybody. Maybe even do some giveaways, right? I know that's stuff people have asked about before, and I know I don't really do too many giveaways. It's not that I don't like you guys. It's just, yeah, I just don't usually have a lot of stuff to give away. But maybe I'll get some stuff together, do some giveaways. Maybe that'll draw some more people in. Definitely got to restock on some code cards, though. If you know anyone that has code cards, or you have some that you're not doing anything with, I'm more than glad to take them. Because again, it just goes back to everyone that watches and enjoys this content. So it's one of the easier giveaways for me to do. And if you're not using them, I'd be more than glad to give them away. I'll shout you out, whatever we want to do. But yeah, definitely need to get some more code cards in. Got a lot of duplicates in this set. Yep, good old Grimer. This one's so funny though. It's not as creepy as the other one. It's just hilarious. Like, he just jaw dropped, just looking like he just watched someone get mugged, or like someone got beat up, or, you know, saw something he wasn't supposed to see, and he's just like flabbergasted. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not as bad as the one from Team Rocket. All right. No. So I started out with base set. So the Japanese base set went to about here, and then we went into jungle, and then now we're into fossil. So this is all the fossil stuff. Just all in the same binder. All right. Anyone doing any gaming this weekend? What games you guys playing through? Yeah, it's definitely fossil. You can see by the set symbol. So I guess I might as well mention this, right? Because I know someone's asked about it before. May have even been Nugget. So I've got a bunch of games I want to play through. And yes, they're not Pokemon related games, so I'll start with that. But would you guys like to see me do like some Let's Plays? It's something I haven't really done on the channel before. But it's another way I can do live streams. You guys get to come hang out. It's not just me opening up packs. Yeah, I play a lot of role-playing games, some first-person shooters. Yeah, some classic stuff as well. So if you guys would like to see that, obviously let me know. Like I said, maybe I can mix it into where like maybe one of the streams a week is me playing a video game, and then the other streams are just regular content. But let me know. Again, it's kind of the community. Did you play Witcher 3? Yeah, Witcher 3 was awesome. I played it when it first came out. Definitely a lot of fun. It was such a long game though. But yeah, it was definitely a solid game for sure. You're okay with it? Okay, gotcha. I was talking about the other day, but like I have the whole Kingdom Hearts collection. Oh, it's your favorite game? Nice, that's awesome. Diablo 4 Season 5, nice. I would love to get back into Diablo 4, but I feel like I'm so far behind. And plus, like, the last couple times I booted it up, like, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it just... Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, yeah. It just didn't keep me grabbed. Like, I would much rather play Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I played Diablo 2 like a fiend when I was a kid. Yeah, I think it'd be fun playing with some people from the stream also, from the channel. Wow, that sleeve is all kinds of jacked up. Just gonna get that out of the way. But yeah, I wouldn't mind playing like Diablo 2 Resurrected also. Again, it's one of my favorites. I've got a couple higher level characters there. Always keep these boxes, by the way. You can always use them for other card stuff. But let me grab a fresh one there. See, this is why you always have extras. But yeah, I have the whole Kingdom Hearts collection on Steam now, so I can play through that, which I was playing around with a little bit last night, but I would just make a brand new save, so we can start the stream and all the Let's Play stuff from a fresh save. I play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, which is the MMO, the Massive Multiplayer Online RPG. I've been playing that since 2010. I know you can do the math, it's insane, but yeah, I've been playing that game since its original, not even beta test, the alpha test I played. So yeah, I've got a lot of time invested in that game for sure. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind playing Diablo. It's just trying to get myself into wanting to play it. Like I said, I feel like I'd rather just play Diablo 2 Resurrected, and just kind of just burn through that again. But Dead by Daylight, cool game, but wow, this Kabuto has seen some better days. Nothing wrong with Dead by Daylight, but I don't really like those kind of games. It's definitely a niche style game, but especially if you're not playing with a bunch of people, it's hard to just go into lobbies and to be like successful. I mean, again, pretty cool game. I don't have anything against it. It's just not my kind of game. Oh, of course. Well, that same thing, like I play a lot of Destiny 2 as well, which again, a lot of people absolutely hate Destiny or shit on it. I played Destiny when no one else was playing it. So, and the same thing with Final Fantasy. I was playing it when no one else was playing it. There's games like that that I'll always go back to and play, no matter how big the backlog gets. Yeah, First Ascendant's not a bad game. It's just, and I was actually talking to Nugget about this before, so it's just trying to get my head wrapped around some of the systems, because funny enough, they did take a lot of ideas. I'll say it that way, right? Ideas from Destiny, which again, I mean, to each their own, or however you see it, positive, negative, whatever. But just trying to, you know, I feel like I'm the same way with Final Fantasy 14, where that game literally has everything that I like. It's got all the systems and all the UI elements that work and make sense. So it's hard for me to play another game in that same kind of genre without immediately judging it or holding it to that standard, right? You know, it's especially with MMOs. Like, I've played a lot of different MMOs. I played Black Desert. I played Terra. I played Guild Wars. Like, I played so many. What other one? But even Halo, like, I love playing Halo, especially like Halo Infinite's multiplayer is not too bad. I'll play with some of the guys over at /frag here and there. Pretty off-centered trainer here. But again, I mean, you can only play so much of just the multiplayer. But I feel like games like Final Fantasy, especially because it is an MMO, there's plenty of stuff to do. Outriders, yep, that was another good one. Outriders wasn't too bad. But that was another one where I think I was gone at the time, so I was like getting into Outriders on the tail end when people were dropping off. And then it just, I don't know, it still needed a bunch of patchwork, and again, it's hard to play those kind of games when everyone else is already way ahead, you know? All right. And just like that, through the magic of conversation, this is done. So Nier Automata. So I have both the Nier games. I bumped the camera, of course. I need to play through them, so maybe I could do that. I'll write that down. Yeah, so Nier Automata, Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, so even when this video gets posted as a regular video and the stream ends, just leave some comments. Let me know what games you'd like to see me do for Let's Plays. And like I said, maybe we could do that. BioShock, absolutely amazing. Such a great series. 3 wasn't that great, but I wouldn't mind playing through BioShock again. Loved it. It was definitely one of my favorite games of that style for sure. But yeah, so again, appreciate all those that came and hung out and enjoyed the stream today. Appreciate you pushing us over that 800 subscribers. But yeah, like I said, whether you're watching this now currently during the live stream or you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments what games you'd like to see me live stream. Nugget, Wabbit, I do have your cards off to the side. So again, let me know, look through the rest of the binder and see what else you want to, go ahead and message me. But again, we do have all these Southern Islands cards ready to be graded. So this will go out in one of the next missions. Super excited how this goes. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Again, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Give me some feedback on how you want to see the 800 subscriber celebration go down. And yeah, like I said, we'll get that planned and mapped out. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm WakoBako. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it.